There seems to be a lot of divided opinion on having only one meal per day to help with weight loss. Is it good or bad for weight loss, and is it even safe? Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Young, a naturopathic doctor in Toronto. Let's take a look at the pros and cons of eating one meal per day to see whether you should be doing it for weight loss. Having only one meal a day, also known as OMAD or OMAD, is basically a more extreme form of intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is a type of eating that dictates when you can eat, rather than what you can eat, and restricts your food intake to certain times of the day. Check out our video on intermittent fasting to get a more comprehensive overview of this weight loss strategy. The average adult that has 3 meals every day will typically eat within a 12-hour time span, essentially leaving a 12-hour window of fasting every day. Most standard intermittent fasters will eat within an 8-hour time span, then fast for 16. This typically allows for around 2 meals to be eaten every day, or sometimes 3 if the meals are eaten close together. Having one meal per day means you'll only be able to eat at one time. So you're looking at an intermittent fast that looks something like 2 hours eating, then fasting for 22, because for most people it's at most 1 to 2 hours to finish a meal. So let's take a closer look at some perceived pros and cons. Pro: it's easy to follow. The average human stomach holds around 2 to 4 liters of food. By just limiting yourself to one meal, you can then theoretically eat as much as you want at that time, under the assumption that your body and stomach will naturally stop you, allowing you to eat without the need to tediously measure portion sizes or count calories. Some people also interpret OMAD to mean that you can eat whatever you want as well. If you do, you'll need to be somewhat careful with this interpretation. For example, if your only meal consists solely of junk food, you're going to run into other health problems long term. Pro: it's like a stronger intermittent fast. Some patients who have been intermittent fasting for a while and seeing good effects for weight loss will occasionally try to improve its effects by transitioning to the more extreme OMAD, especially since periods of fasting have additional beneficial effects on metabolism and health. While this theoretically should help with weight loss, in real life, it's not always the case. There are many reasons why patients do well on regular intermittent fasting, but do poorly on OMAD, which we'll get into, but for now, know that just because intermittent fasting works for you, doesn't always mean OMAD will be better. Con: it might promote binge eating. Eating only one meal a day might encourage compensatory overeating, particularly if it's taking a large mental and emotional toll to do it, as well as if you're not controlling what you're eating at all. Although some people will naturally stop after eating so many calories, many people can continue to eat past a full day's worth of calories in a single meal. So it is possible for that single meal to still cause weight gain, especially if you tend to ignore your body's fullness signals and are eating foods high in empty calories like sweets or pastries. Con: it might be too extreme a diet. Extreme diets have a common issue in that it may be effective in the first few days and weeks, but it can be difficult to sustain in the long run. If you're unable to keep it up, you might just stop, which is likely to cause some weight regain. Sometimes this weight regain demoralizes people enough to give up entirely, causing even more weight regain. This cycle of weight loss followed by weight regain over and over is known as yo-yo dieting, and not only fails to help an individual achieve their weight loss goals, but can come with additional health risks associated with rapid weight regain. Con: it might lead to nutrient deficiencies. If you eat mostly things high in empty calories, it's possible you start to develop some nutrient deficiencies in the long term. These nutrient deficiencies can make it harder for your body to burn fat and lose weight. People who eat multiple meals are more likely to increase the variation of food eaten at different meals. Con: it might be problematic to some people. Diabetics and those with blood sugar issues who are taking medication like insulin will likely need to consult their doctor to modify their dosing to safely try this style of eating. The same would apply to those on blood pressure medication. Periods of fasting can potentially drop blood sugar and blood pressure levels too low, particularly in individuals taking medications for these conditions. Other medical issues to note are pregnant individuals and those with eating disorders, so work with your doctor if you'd like to safely implement OMAD. Should you try OMAD? OMAD is not for everyone, and from experience, the patients that seem to do the best on OMAD don't think too much about food or eating in general, or are more disciplined with their meal planning and eating habits. So if you aren't constantly thinking about food throughout the day, don't have strong emotional connections to food, and tend to forget to eat because you're too busy or whatever, OMAD might be quite effective for you. If you don't want to worry about calories, don't like limiting what you can eat, and feel like you would prefer to enjoy one large meal at the end of the day, you might even enjoy OMAD. Keep in mind that the content of that one meal becomes exceedingly important on OMAD. Make sure you eat a varied diet packed full of good protein, healthy fats, and nutritious carbohydrates. I recommend you eat slowly, take your time, and focus on eating when you finally do eat. It'll help prevent overeating, which is definitely possible on OMAD if you're not careful. Feel free to have a little dessert or candy, just make sure that junk foods don't make up a large portion of your meal. However, if you're an emotional or binge eater, tend to eat things depending on how you feel, cannot deal with hunger very well, and lack basic meal planning skills, OMAD might just make things worse. Some people drink coffee throughout the day to control their hunger, but if you've never tried regular intermittent fasting before, you might end up thinking of food all day long if you're suddenly being forced to refrain from eating all day. Finally, remember that OMAD can be considered an extreme dietary strategy, meaning that it may not be completely safe for everyone. So make sure you ask your doctor about it if you have any pre-existing medical issues. Do you eat one meal a day, and what do you think about OMAD? Let me know about it in the comments down below. And if you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel and leave me a like. Hit the notification bell if you want to stay up to date, and share this video with someone you know who can use the help.